supply of drugs, given addicts an unlimited supply of drugs. Quantitative easing is the crack cocaine of the financial world. It's also the stupidest thing ever done. The first really strong burst of QE came in response to the US financial meltdown in late 2008. Since then, every time the economy slowed down, as it inevitably would because QE only delays, it doesn't cure. It would because it doesn't cure. The Fed and central banks around the world would at the end with even more stimulus. Fed and central banks around the world would at the end with even more stimulus. When it looked like the drug addict was coming down from their high, they'd pump ever larger doses of crack into their veins. When it looked like the drug addict was coming down from their high, when it looked like the drug addict was coming down from their high, they'd pump ever larger doses of crack into their veins. Of course, anyone with any sense knows this can't go indefinitely. They also know how destructive this approach is. It's a one-way ticket to dead drug addict. Unfortunately, very few mainstream economists and central bankers seem to have much common sense. This has led to two things: a delay in the inevitable third stock market bubble with nothing substantial behind it. In fact, the stock bubble from early 2009 into mid-2015 is a rare and perfect example of artificial bubble created solely by pouring money created out of thin air into financial system. Without massive government intervention to save the banks and some major companies and to pump up the spending of asset-rich upper class that control over 50% of the spending, we'll have seen the 1930s style depression. 2009 was looking exactly like 1930.
스위트 밀크.
예. 네, 감사합니다. Without massive government intervention to save the banks and some major companies and pump up the spending of the asset-rich upper class that control over 50% of spending, we'd have seen 1930s style depression. 2009, 2008 was looking like 1930. The $4 trillion in QE, $10 trillion plus globally, along with $7 trillion in fiscal deficit, have created a mere 2% average GDP growth. It's about $320 billion growth a year. That's a bad deal and high price to pay. I mean, seriously, an average stimulus of 1.6 trillion dollars per year, or about 10% of GDP, for barely 2% growth. However, there would have been no recovery at all without such unprecedented stimulus. And I assure you, I use the term recovery loosely here because barely getting 2% growth is just about the weakest S recovery you could imagine and the worst in modern history. There are many reasons why the Fed's quantitative easing effort haven't had the desired effect, but that's worthy of a book on its own. For now, suffice is to say that a big stumbling block has been that the printed money didn't largely go into bank lending as hoped and as has happened in past recoveries.